Oh, hey, good morning, good afternoon, everybody, depending on which part of this beautiful country that you're in. I'm Sheila Gunn Reid. You are watching Rebel Roundup, and I'm in studio instead of at my studio at home, and I'm joined by my very best friend in the whole wide world, who's not in Regina, who's in Toronto, Lise Merle. Lise, how's it going?
Oh, Sheila Gunn Reid, we are coming off some of the best hours of our entire life. Today is a challenge, Canada. we are running on fumes, but we're going to run on fumes for you. Excuse me, I have to alter this ear. I can't do it. I just can't do it. It's so distracting. Anyway, Canada, we have a heck of a show for you guys today. Some huge things happening in Canadian politics, and we need to get into all of them right now. Just as a group therapy session, okay? It starts right now on Rebel News.
Yes. Yes, Olivia, I had to take the earpiece out because I can't handle listening to myself. It's echoey, and I don't have the mental bandwidth to listen to myself today. Last night was staff training, and
the Rebel News Very Serious Staff Training Symposium.
Yes, that was last night, so I'm going to be honest, I'm not feeling the best today. Anyways, if you want to get involved in the show and you're watching us on Rumble, thank you for supporting a great free speech platform. If you want to leave a paid chat over there, it's called a Rumble Rant, and it's how you support the work that we do around here out of the goodness of your heart, because we'll never take a penny from the government. Never. To do the work that we do around here. And if you are watching us on YouTube, the paid chat over there is called a super chat, and you can leave a paid comment. If you don't catch the live version of the show, it's called a super thanks. So we'll read those as we get through the show, and it's a great way to let you have your say. You let us have your money, and we let you have your say. Well, we got to talk about this Michael Ma thing.
What on earth has just happened,
right,
Canada?
So for those of you who don't know, and I don't know how you couldn't, Michael Ma, a Conservative member of Parliament who just won just a few months ago, has crossed the floor to the Liberal government, putting the Liberals one seat away from majority. He's the second Conservative, of course, to sell his soul to cross in recent weeks. The other one was Chris D'Entremont, who joined the Liberals in November, citing Poilievre's leadership style. Now,
Sheila Gunn Reid, just really quickly, what ethnicity is Michael Ma again?
Chinese.
He's
from Hong Kong, and this riding itself, this is why we bring this up, is because this riding was the riding where the Liberal candidate had to step aside after he encouraged everybody to turn Joe Tay, the Conservative candidate, over to the CCP to collect a bounty.
Right. So this is the guy that came in to replace him, right?
So this is the guy who won the riding for the Conservatives.
Right. To replace the guy that was there. Okay. So tell me, Sheila Gunn Reid, on a scale of 1 to 10, where do we land on what happened to Michael Ma? Like, on a scale of 1 to 10, was he compelled by a foreign government maybe to do what he did? Like, is that within the realm of possibilities? Because we know that there are some, some things maybe that border
happening
into
in the background.
That's right.
And we just did an entire commission on foreign interference, and then ran an election without knowing who were the foreign collaborators as parliamentarians.
Who they are?
We didn't get to know who they were, and we didn't adopt any of the recommendations in that show theater of a foreign interference commission before we ran that next election.
And tell me again, where was Michael Ma earlier in the week?
Do you know? Can we bring up Olivia? If you're poking around, and we'll watch some videos from Canada Proud in the meantime. But it shows Michael Ma. Okay, so this is what he was earlier this week. But there's just before, and we'll talk about that in a second. But in the meantime, if you look at some of the responses to what he's been up to, like I think he was somewhere with Victor O, and that's a Conservative senator who has been linked to the CCP. So I don't know what's going on here, why he quickly made the switch, but I will tell you that Canada Proud, Jeff Ballingall, he points out that it's real nice of Michael Ma to have found the time to attend the Conservative Christmas party last night. So this is the night before he crosses the floor. He goes to the Christmas party, dances with his colleagues, gets pictures with the
Conservative
leader.
Party of Canada Christmas party.
Right. Gets
this guy goes to the night before.
The night before, and then, from what I understand, I think Pierre-Paul Housse, who is a Conservative MP in Quebec, points out. This is what I want to show you from Andy Lee. Anyways, Pierre-Paul Housse points out that Michael Ma didn't even pay for his ticket to attend the Christmas party.
That's
Sleazy.
really
That's
skeevy.
sleazy.
I was just gonna say that's super skeevy. Like to show. Okay, listen. Oops. If this was, excuse my fingers don't work today, guys.
Nothing works.
That says something where you know that you're going to do this. Like this certainly wasn't a 24-hour decision. Certainly not. This was on the back burner. So to show up at that party to make it look like you're keeping up appearance, not even pay for your ticket. And then cross the next day.
Oh, he came for the free dinner for sure, and then.
That's shade level 10, guys. That's shade level 10. Okay, here's it. Yeah, here.
Okay, let's listen.
Yeah, please.
Mr. Speaker, we are in a shameful situation in this country where over 2 million Canadians are visiting food bank every month. At the end of every month, paychecks aren't going far enough. Why is that? The Liberals will want to deflect the blames this solely on the trade deficit. However, there is a simple economic fact. When you create more units of currency and map them to an economy that isn't meaningful, producing more units of goods and services, we get inflation. As a case in point, in the last 5 years, grocery prices have risen more than 20%. Mr. Speaker, we can't print our way out of the economic stagnation. We are already in this situation because of all the deficit spending engaged during the Trudeau years. Why are we doing more of the same? How insulting it is to hardworking Canadians for the Liberals to create a macro situation where paychecks can't afford food and rent, and then to pat themselves on the back for doling out welfare in various guises. There is no different than throwing rocks at household windows and then offering window replacement services. This is no different than pushing us into a pool and then offering us the floater. Yet, Mr. Speaker, this is the worldview of the interventionist nanny state central planners. The interest payments on our debt already exceeds what is transferred to provinces for healthcare. Yet the modus operandi of the nanny state would rather add to this debt instead of simply letting the natural drive of hardworking Canadians carry out our economy forward. Instead of getting out of the way, the Liberals choose to continually stand in the way of a naturally productive real economy. How can we meaningfully affect prices at the grocery store when the industrial carbon tax makes it harder to grow food, when the fuel standard makes it harder to ship food, and when the packaging tax makes it harder to sell food? The Liberals operate at a systemic system intervention and then propose branded one-shot measures to create the image of doing good for Canadians, by Canadians. If they stop their environmentalist overreach, Canadians could do good by themselves.
What happened, Michael Ma? What happened? We
Right.
just heard everything you just said. You were talking nanny state. Okay, this guy's talking about the nanny state and systemic abuse by the Liberals. It's keeping things unaffordable in
Right.
Canada. Michael Ma, blink twice if they've threatened you.
Right.
Right. Call for help. SOS us somehow. What happened here?
Right. Did he look? there are two things that are going on here. Either he's just a cynical, insincere person who doesn't believe a thing that he says.
He sounded pretty sincere there.
Right. Or he's been leaned on by somebody for some reason.
I don't like that. I don't like that at all for us, for Canada, for the people in his riding, not for the Conservatives, not for the Liberals, not in any way. If pressure was applied to this man, and listen, that is well within the realm of possibilities within Canada right now.
They were going to abduct Joe Tay. Okay. So, you know what I mean?
Again, Michael Ma, blink twice if you need help, okay? You just give us a signal and we'll try to figure this out. But what a gross disappointment for Conservatives. It just shows how slimy the Liberals are and how committed they are to getting their hands on absolute power again. And what was that word? What's that phrase about absolute power?
Corrupts, absolutely.
That's exactly right, Canada, and they're one away. So make no mistake, the Liberals right now are campaigning hard to find an NDP that they can flip, to find another Conservative they can flip. That's one more person. But I do think that a great deal of attention needs to be placed on Michael Ma right now, because what we just heard there and what we just saw, him at the Conservative Christmas party one night, a Liberal the next day, this makes no sense whatsoever.
Yeah. It's just hard. I don't know him, so I don't know. But it's just hard to believe that someone is such a snake.
So duplicitous.
But maybe he is. Mm-hmm. You know?
I mean, he could
be.
But just hearing that, that was a really great speech in the House
Right.
of Commons on behalf of Conservatives, taking out the Liberals at the knees for their terrible, awful, failed policies, saying what they're saying isn't going to work. So how all of a sudden, overnight, is this guy saying, no, you know what, the Libs have it. The Libs have it. Just does not, none of this makes sense. And again, like this is a red flag for Canadians, that your vote doesn't mean anything because the Libs will just come in and steal it if they need it. You know what I mean? Like, what is the point of all of this?
Right. Why have a democracy where you get to cast a vote if at the end of the day your vote just goes to the Liberals no matter how you try to cast your vote?
Exactly this. No, it's really demoralizing and awful for the country. But, meanwhile, the Libs are at their fancy Christmas mixers just absolutely chumming it, elbows up, and all of their, what a festive time for those losers who are celebrating decimating the country. If I see one more Liberal swinging party with black tie and fancy sequin dresses, I might barf. Okay, I'm that done with them. They're so out of touch.
I might throw up it for 100 other reasons today. And I did wear sequins last night, and my armpits now feel like they were put through a cheese grater. We've got another video from Canada Proud on Michael Ma. And this is just, I think this is just a few weeks ago. It's 42 minutes. Oh, October 27th this is from.
For Markham Unionville.
Mr. Speaker, every dollar the Prime Minister spends comes out of the pockets of Canadians through higher prices and through food inflation. Monthly visits to food banks have doubled since 2019, with 2.2 million visits per month. Nearly 10% of food bank users are now seniors. This is up 22%. This reliance on food banks has to become an ongoing necessity to survive. Mr. Speaker, when will the Liberals realize that their inflationary deficits are driving up the cost of food and driving Canadians to the food bank?
So now he just crossed the floor to the party of those policies.
Right. He just became part of the inflationary deficits that he claims that he didn't like.
Right.
He just became part of the machine that makes that happen.
Right. Like nothing changed in the 5 or 6 weeks since he said those things. Like absolutely not. No policies. We didn't somehow miraculously roll back inflation, cut government spending that's driving inflation, fix the trade wars that are making things more expensive for Canadians. We did nothing. In fact, it got worse. And he crossed over to the party that did it. And maybe I'm naive and I shouldn't be, because I know people say things that are untrue even when they seem sincere and you believe them. Like, I know that happens out there, but it just, Like, how do you go from that to this? And I guess, people do it in their lives every single day, lie about something and do something else.
Sell their soul.
Yeah.
Sell their soul.
People do it all the time. It's just that it feels, I hate to use the word gaslighting because it's so overused, but it's like, buddy, we're not hard of remembering.
Right. You just said those things.
You said them out loud with your face, as Chris Sims says, so we heard it.
And your constituents voted for a conservative, and you just became the antithesis of a conservative. It just, it just boggles the mind, and it makes no sense. But again, I think that this comes down to the Liberals being willing to do absolutely anything to get their hands on absolute power. And this is not going to serve us well, Canada. It's just, listen, this is not going to end well for us. It's not going to, Oh, what is this?
We got a chat.
Confidence? What is this?
We got a chat. We want to put that up on the screen. I don't know which is the one that we're looking at. Okay, so that's that one. Aaron Burton, 32, says, you two look great in studio together. Congrats on the book. Lise and Michael Ma needs the billboard truck. Well, wouldn't you know?
Agreed.
Wouldn't you know we're working on something for that guy?
That's right.
Because you don't get to disenfranchise every single conservative voter in your riding just months after taking your seat. You don't get to do it without being roughed up a little bit by us.
Well, I think his constituents need a place for their frustrations to go, and so listen,
Happy to help.
Happy to help.
Happy to help. We're here for you, Markham.
And thanks so much, Aaron. The little book, I'm just still on cloud nine. I'm not coming down for the next several years.
Acclaimed LGBTQ plus author Lise Merle in studio with me today.
It's just
BuckTheRainbowUnicorn.com.
BuckTheRainbowUnicorn.com. You know what somebody brought up online? It's me and Matt Walsh, who have successfully infiltrated the LGBTQIA children's book market, and I just love that for us.
Yeah.
I just love that. Me and Matt Walsh, just bestsellers.
Buck the Rainbow Unicorn. What are we at? #1 bestseller
In
children's nonfiction.
LGBT.
But it's also trending in a bunch of other categories.
Oh yeah, like this is. Oh yeah, so we're #1 in LGBTQ2S plus families. We're also #2 in books about horses, and we're also #3 in children's book about self-esteem and acceptance.
That's the one I want. That's the one I want.
I want to go top of the children's chart.
Yes.
And right now we're at
We'll
number
get
4.
there.
We're #4 on the children's book chart, guys. So please, if you haven't already, BuckTheRainbowUnicorn.com. We'll get you right into Amazon. It's on sale right now. I think it's on sale right now for
maybe
Prime
it isn't.
Week, or did it go back up? Listen, it's under $25 in any case. It's under $25.
Be at your door in 2 days.
Be at your door. You can send it to anyone in the country, and you can even have it gift wrap for $5 extra. 2 days, anywhere in the nation. BuckTheRainbowUnicorn.com. Come on, guys, we've got to make this just a huge, wild success.
Yeah, $24.99. It'll arrive 9 days before Christmas, and it's in studio with us. Look,
That's right. That's
right back there. It's in the office.
Here's my book, you guys. I didn't notice.
let me
I
move.
didn't notice till right now.
Yeah.
Oh, that is so sweet. Yeah, thanks so much for your love and support, guys. I'm just over the moon. So,
Before we move on from Michael Ma, let's show the thing that Andy Lee dug up.
I love her.
So I think this is relevant to my broader conspiracy theory. And again, my brain is not firing on all cylinders today. I think we're skipping a few. My spark plugs aren't sparking. But I saw this and I thought, well, what's happening here? I just thought everyone should know floor crosser Michael Ma was hanging around with former Senator Victor O. So I think he was one of the 11 parliamentarians. In fact, he's the one that the conservatives told on themselves about, because he was taking trips to China, and the conservatives were like, "But no, you can't take trips to China paid for by the CCP." Right. They told on him when they suspected foreign influence or even the perception of foreign interference. Sure. They told on him, so I think he's one of the 11. Gang Tan, Vincent K., Michael Chan, Consul General Cheng Hongbo, and person of interest to CSIS, Wei Chengyi. I think I said that okay?
Yeah, you did.
So anyways, this was, how long ago was this? I don't know. But I don't know when this picture took place. But I don't.
Wow, look at that, guys. Like, no, certainly not. This was just a community evening, not a bunch of
With a person of interest from
high-powered operatives that are working on behalf of a foreign nation. Certainly not. We don't know if that's happening. We don't know if that's happening. But like,
It's almost as though we should have dealt with the foreign interference stuff before
the
we had another election.
you almost like we should have dealt with that. But you know, Sheila, that wouldn't have benefited the Liberals. They wouldn't have been able to slither out of that one. So that's why we didn't look at those things, because we're real particular about the things that we deal with as a company, or as a country, as a country being led by a liberal government. They'll stop at nothing to cling to power.
Remember when I said
they're dirtbags?
we're not going to deal with this because it benefits the Liberals. Why would they deal with it? And here it is in practice right away.
Yeah, it's happening right now. Within a couple
Olivia,
months,
why are we hearing Mexican music in the studio?
I like it.
I don't know either.
I like it so much.
I'm not complaining.
Can you?
Oh, could be next door.
Oh, we hope you can hear it at home. It's just so
It's
our
kind of
dancing
fun.
makes sense. So our dancing makes sense.
Let's hit an ad break. And Olivia, do we have the thing that I did yesterday ready to go? Okay, if it is ready to go, then maybe we'll show it later. Because Lise did a thing, right? And we just talked about it. But I did a little thing. I want to let you guys in, and it's sneaky too. You know how her book has a hook? Mine's got a hook too.
Hey, we are a publishing powerhouse over here, and we can't wait. You guys are going to love this right after the break. Promise.
Okay, if it's ready. If not, we'll just go to we can show the link to it maybe, if my promo isn't ready. Anyways, let's hit an ad break. We'll be back on the other side.
Gun bans make great distractions.
Trudeau may be gone, but Carney has picked up his same
We
rhetoric.
will quickly, and I mean quickly, reinvigorate the buyback of
Hunters, collectors, competitors, and defenders of tradition are still being targeted, while criminals run wild under Liberal policy. But we are fighting back. Join us. Canada's National Firearms Association, in defense of freedom.
Hey everybody, I'm Lise, Merle, and I want to tell you about a darling little book I wrote for these crazy times, where truth and reality are now optional. On a wide open prairie farm lives Buck, a loyal and gentle horse who's good at just about everything. But one day his well-meaning barnyard buddies start filling his head with big ideas, like maybe he isn't a horse at all. Maybe he's a rainbow unicorn. Buck tries to keep up, but something doesn't sit right, and eventually he remembers the one place where truth isn't confusing and love isn't conditional. Home. Because Buck's family knows him best. They know he's not a unicorn. He's a wonderful horse. Strong, steady, and perfect the way he is. And that love gives him the courage to ignore the noise and just be himself. Buck the Rainbow Unicorn is a prairie fable for our times, a gentle and charming story that helps little ones understand that who they are is enough, and that the people that love them most aren't the ones trying to turn them into something they're not. Share this story with the little ones in your life just in time for Christmas. It's a book to spark discussions and remind them that home is where the truth lives, and that they are loved just the way they are. Get your copy today at bucktherainbowunicorn.ca.
You like the hat? Me too. Same strong message about making Canada great again, but in a really cool color, black and gold. There's other colors available, and it's an all-Canadian site. So if you want to signal your tribe or trigger a Liberal, go to mcgahats.ca today.
Canadians know the national anthem. They stand in silence to remember those who died for this country. But not every Canadian knows their rights and freedoms. The Freedom Passport will change that. It looks and feels like a Canadian passport, but contains the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms in a portable, easy-to-read format. The Freedom Passport. Order one for yourself and for all the freedom lovers that you love at freedompassport.ca.
All right. Are we coming back? Oh, we're back. Okay. I never know where to look. Hi. Hi, I guess we're back. And I know at home when we're back, because I don't have 3-4 screens to look at. I want to tell everybody what I did, because, you know, I'm very supportive of Lise and everything that she does, and I wanted to give her some time to have her moment in the sun, and she has, and she continues to. But I thought, you know, Lise is a mom of 6, and the transing of little kids is a big issue for her, but also a big issue for us, and so I let her take the lead on that. But a big issue for us too is, how does the West fit into Confederation?
That's right. What is our place now?
If at all. So, you know, we talk about in the new country all the time, but I went looking to test the spirits, as they say.
Right.
I went looking for, you know, reasons, if there are any out there, for us to remain within Confederation. And so my journey of exploration and soul searching
has
resulted in not one, but 2 books that went live yesterday. I'm going to show you this promo that we shot here yesterday, and tell me what you think. Hey everyone, Sheila Gunn Reid here, and I'm thrilled to introduce the 2 books that I just wrote, and I use that word pretty loosely. Meet The Case for Confederation, Alberta's Compelling Reasons to Stick Around, and The Case for Confederation, Saskatchewan's Compelling Reasons to Stick Around. 2 beautifully bound volumes packed with every strong promise and well-researched argument for why Alberta and Saskatchewan should stay within the confines of Canada. And by packed, I mean the pages are blank. These 2 books are completely empty, because when I went looking for Ottawa's case to keep the prairies, or rather for us to stay, that's exactly what I found. Nothing. Flip through either book and you'll reach the same conclusion I did. If the federal government has a convincing argument, it didn't make it into the pages of my book, or into reality for that matter. These books will make the perfect gift for your favorite prairie firebrand, your CBC-soaked Liberal co-worker, or anyone who still insists equalization is fair. Or how about for that guy who yells elbows up every time pipelines or canola or potash comes up. And look, even if Ottawa won't offer Alberta or Saskatchewan much, these blank books can, because they're lined. They double as notebooks, instantly making them more useful than any federal promise since 1905. Get your copies today at thecaseforconfederation.com. Order now to get yours in time for Christmas. Again, that's thecaseforconfederation.com.
That's right, Canada.
I wrote 2 blank books. And really, they're not blank books. They're just fun notebooks, really.
That's right.
You know, The Case for Confederation, I went looking, didn't find one. Wrote a book on it.
That's right.
And
went looking more for Saskatchewan.
Didn't find anything. These are going to be my go-to notebooks doing the show. You'll often see me like scribbling down my as a like a keyword will hit me, and I want to expand on that. And so these are going to be my notebooks for the next 5 years on the live stream. Yep. They are perfect as a stocking stuffer for your local, you know, maybe separatist / sovereigntist / independence-minded friend or family or neighbor. Yep. I'm going to give them to my kids. My kids are forever stealing my notebooks, and they're going to get their own. And this is just a Sheila Gunn Reid move. She's like, I'm going to do 2 books. I'm going to give everybody all the reasons to stay in Canada, and there will be none, and they will be blank. Yeah. Like, this is such a Sheila Gunn Reid move. So, congrats, buddy. Thanks.
Look at us, like in 1 week. Look, we are just taking over the publishing world, guys.
Wouldn't it be great if these blank books made it to the top of whatever chart you would put a blank book under? I don't know, political science, maybe?
Sure.
In a time when those recall petitions are happening in Alberta, where the Forever Canada weirdos have accidentally triggered a sovereigntist referendum, wouldn't it be great to show those people what's what by having a book that actually gives no reasons to stay at the top of whatever charts. Anyways, you can get them on Amazon. Go to thecaseforconfederation.com. You'll find links there. But we helped Lise. Now it's time to help me, guys.
You know what, guys? We are a group of book readers. Okay, we are all acknowledging that we should be reading more books. And actually, Rebel News has published an entire shelf full of fascinating books.
Right there.
And I said, yeah, do you see them guys right behind Sheila there? We are going to do our best to find a way to read those books together, okay? Because we live in this increasingly algorithmed world where everybody is on their own algo. And so you know, we are getting disconnected because everything is so personalized. So what if during the long, cold, dark Canadian winter, we all started reading the same books at the same time.
And talking about them.
Well, and talking about them. Like downloading the same ideas at the same time. That's a powerful thing, Sheila, Gunn, Reid. So we're gonna look at doing that in the new year a little bit, I think.
Yeah.
Just as a group project, you know, something fun for us to do when it's cold outside and we have those long, cold, dark nights in front of the fire.
Right.
Let's all read a book.
My Case for Confederation notebooks, you know what I'm going to do with those? I'm going to make them my travel journals.
So cute, yes.
Yes.
Agreed.
Okay, let's get into, thank you, Olivia, for indulging me there.
Yeah.
Let's get into the next clip. This is Polyev absolutely ripping Carney a new one for copying his policy strategies but failing to actually implement them. It's I guess it's one thing to take the ideas, but if you're going to steal them, like use them,
right?
Maybe. Okay, let's listen.
Now, Mark Carney, I told him, copy my ideas. Now, unfortunately, he did only copy the words, but not the deeds. And what we've got in practice is the Temu version. And that's why life is more expensive, more dangerous, and our economy weaker than when Mark Carney took office. He promised to flip-flop on the carbon tax, but he's bringing in a new carbon tax that will jack up gas prices 7 cents a liter next year, on top of the industrial carbon tax that drives up food and housing costs. He promised he would spend less. He's spending $90 billion more, and he's doubled Justin Trudeau's deficit. He promised, in plagiarizing Stephen Harper, that he would make Canada an energy superpower. In fact, he voted against his very own pipeline on the floor of the House of Commons just this week. He promised that he would build 500,000 new homes, and the parliamentary budget officer says that his very costly bureaucracy will only build 1% of that. He promised he would reverse Liberals on bail. In fact, they brought in a watered-down bail law that he and his party have been blocking ever since. In the last 2 days, they have blocked 17 attempts by Conservatives at the Justice Committee to fast-track the bail law. Liberals blocking their own bail legislation on immigration. He allows foreign criminals to stay in Canada with sentencing discounts and mass temporary foreign workers because he says corporate lobbyists need the low-cost labor rather than hiring Canadian kids. It has been a gigantic bait and switch. While Mark Carney copies my words, he doesn't put them into practice. Everything is worse. He promised a deal with Trump. There's still no deal. Foreign American tariffs are double. He's not reduced a single foreign tariff on Canada since taking office, promising to be a massive deal maker. It has been a gigantic counterfeit operation under Mark Carney that has left Canadians paying more, feeling more endangered, and more in debt. Thank you very much. And we now, with that, we work towards a brighter future and a better 2026.
Counterfeit Carney. Doesn't that have a ring to it, Canada? Yeah. We were just talking about this morning, about how all the Liberals have to do is listen to the Conservative plan and just say, right, yeah, we're just gonna do that.
Right.
And then they don't have to actually do anything.
Right.
And how this is sort of following the same line of thinking. But if the Liberals are going to poach Conservative ideas, if they're going to pull bait and switches, then the Conservatives must find an issue that the Liberals are absolutely unwavering on. So what is that issue? What is the one thing or the two things or the three things that Conservatives can come out and say, look, this is the side that we're going to be on this, and this is the hill we're going to die on, when they know that the Liberals can't or won't adopt it? it is incumbent upon the Conservatives to find out what those issues are and absolutely run with them. Sheila, Gunn, Reid. Or else this is all we're ever going to have. Poilievre says he's going to do a thing. Carney says, well, actually, I'm going to do that
And
thing.
never do it.
And then never do it. Give us a bunch of lip service while also being slimy and snaky and pulling Conservative MPs over to the, over to the Liberal side of the floor. The Conservatives must do something. They must do something.
Yeah. And the more I know we already talked about Ma, but like the Liberals were just exposed for a bunch of duplicitous weirdos that they were on the MOU just days ago. And you're like, oh, they were exposed to the country for not being able to vote for the exact wording of their pipeline.
Yeah.
And a Conservative MP crossed the floor to those people.
Yeah. And what we are sort of noticing is a pattern of behavior that shows them for how cheap they are. So they'll go to David Eby and they'll have their announcement with David Eby in British Columbia, and they will say one thing, and they will fly back to Ottawa and say a completely different thing to the Ottawa Press Gallery. And we must just keep shining a light on the Liberal duplicity and the ways that they are lying to Canadians, and really like pulling the wool over Canadians' eyes. If we had a more engaged and less, and I get it, Canada, like we have election apathy. We've just been through what feels like 100 years of poor governance and non-representation and non-accountability.
Right.
But if we keep pointing this out, the public will have no choice but to pay attention. You've got a liar lips government telling you lies and then doing the thing that is going to hurt our country. Like, this is how we're going to take it down, by exposing them for their duplicity.
Right. And people do have election fatigue. Like us Westerners, we go to election anytime soon, and what are we going to do?
Yeah.
Vote Conservative harder?
Yeah.
You know? For Westerners, we cannot vote our way out of this, no matter what happens.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yep.
We've got another clip from Poilievre. Sorry, my mood just took a turn there. Sorry, everybody. I'm trying to hang on here. We've got Poilievre calling on Carney to bring in stricter bail conditions, much to the chagrin of the likes of Rachel Gilmore. Anyway, let's watch.
You're saying that they should move on to the study of bail.
Yeah.
They were supposed to finish clause by clause on the C9 last Tuesday, so why not just allow that work to get completed at committee rather than constantly requesting to move on? It's next on the docket, so you could have been there. This committee could be there right now.
I know, but the Liberals keep blocking it. We've moved 17 times unanimous consent to move to the bail law. But Canadians were telling us that the real... Sorry.
You hadn't brought up so many requests.
I didn't interrupt you.
Would already be there.
Are you ready for an answer? All right. So we should have had Liberal bail repealed about 5 months ago, but Liberals delayed the introduction of it. And over the last 48 hours, they've blocked 17 attempts to bring forward their own bail law. When Canadians said there was a problem with crime, the problem they had was that murderers, rapists, car thieves, extortionists were being released under Liberal bail. The problem wasn't that they believed that we needed to have police and prosecutors be in places of worship to make sure that clergy don't quote religious texts. And that's why the Liberals have got their priorities wrong. We should be going after car thieves, murderers, and rapists by repealing Liberal bail. So I'm calling on Mr. Carney, let's stop blocking your own bail law. Let's get Liberal bail repealed now so that we can have safety on our streets. Thanks very much.
He's got a great point. You know, they're adding criminalization of religious speech from our pulpits inside of our churches because we need to add fake criminals to the justice system, to the legal system, instead of dealing with the repeat offenders, like the chronic recidivists that are out on bail, committing crimes on bail, then getting bail for those crimes instead of just going to the jail. Like, these people should be sitting in jail. Instead, they become plagues upon our communities. It's actually a small number of crimes or a large number of crimes committed by a very small number of people.
Yep.
over and over and over again.
And instead of dealing with the criminals, the actual criminals, the people who are a danger to public safety, the people who are recidivists, who are over and over and over criminals, the Liberal government just created a new class of gentle criminals. Okay,
Priests.
because it's way easier
Priests,
to
nuns.
go after priests, pastors, nuns, rectors.
Yeah.
Okay. Than it is to go after the actual bad guys, because after all, the law enforcement in Canada knows where to find a pastor on a Sunday, don't they?
Right.
It's really easy to track those guys down, and that's who's being targeted in this. And I don't recognize this country anymore.
Before we move ahead, I'm obligated to make the dad joke because you said rector.
Wait.
And so now I have to say,
Here it goes.
I hardly know her.
We're here all day.
Thank you. Speaking of new class of criminals, I'm one, in case you didn't know. The Liberals, and if you're a firearms owner out there, you're one too. And even if you aren't one now, even if you aren't in possession of firearms that have been reclassified, they're reclassifying them all the time. So if it's not you today, it could be you tomorrow. The Liberals, they're pushing back the launch of their firearms compensation program for individuals until January 2026. So that sounds like but really, they said before the end of 2025. That's 3 weeks?
Yeah.
2 weeks?
Yeah.
So now it's until January 2026. So what does that mean? January 1st? 2026 or the end of January? Do they need an extra month? These people have no idea what they're doing. They're nothing.
They need an extra month because, listen, Sheila.
It's because nobody's when they tried to test it for participation, they got 22 guns at a cost of $7,000 a pop in Cape Breton, and then Charlottetown. When they thought we're going to do this in Charlottetown, we're going to get the city council on board. The CCFR stepped in and educated everybody, and it went 0 to 10
and
on a vote.
Public Safety Minister Gary Anandasangri would not know because he is so sort of fresh, you know what I mean?
He has no clue.
Fresh into this role, that no government does any business in the month of December, okay? It is all schwanky parties and mixers and festive season, backpacking sessions. Of course, this wasn't going to get why would they even put a deadline of December 31st, 2025 when everybody knows that there is nothing that gets done in government for the entire month of December? Why would they have even promised that to begin? Why would they have promised a bad idea to wrap up at a bad time of year? This just shows their ineptitude, guys. They're like, you know what? Actually, we don't have time because everybody's going to be out of the office for Christmas and New Year, so we can't have that happen. So we're just going to give ourselves another month.
Am I to believe that we've got such dedicated bureaucrats in the gun grabbing department of the federal government, they're going to be burning the midnight oil during the holiday season?
You think they're going to come in on New Year's Eve?
Yeah.
To grab guns.
To figure out how to take the old SKS.
It's almost too preposterous to think
It's
about.
ridiculous. Once again, these guns were so deadly dangerous that we couldn't have them in our possession going on 5.5 years.
No. Mm-mm. Have to get them right away.
Get
now
'em.
they're like, well, I guess if you keep them for another 31 days, what's the harm?
Why don't you just let me keep them forever?
How about that?
It's been over half a decade, buddy.
How about that?
Yeah,
How about that idea?
We're not doing, here's the thing. They could easily back out of this expensive boondoggle by saying, we have now 5 years of data to show that this group of people that we've identified is not the problem. Mm-hmm. So we're going to pivot over to crime. Mm-hmm. That'd be such a big win because they could say, well, we've looked, we've seen, and now instead of taking, it's going to be billions of dollars to buy back, which is not a thing. Mm-hmm. You didn't own them, they're mine. Buy back firearms and then crush them, plus pay contractors to go around and get them, which you can't do in Saskatchewan.
No, because it's not funded.
It's not funded, that agency. Why wouldn't they say, okay, we are an evidence-based government, and now we have half a decade of data. Mm-hmm. Let's take that money and put it into border security, drug treatment instead of drugs, actually giving people drugs. We could give them treatment.
Treatment. Mm-hmm.
We're not going to do that.
No, we're not. No, we sure aren't. Because as long as we have anti-gun activists, and as long as we're glorifying violence, especially against women. The other day was the anniversary of the École Polytechnique massacre, and nobody was glorifying it and celebrating it more than the Liberal Party of Canada, Mark Carney and company. And I was like, why? Oh, I'm sorry. Why are we glorifying this event this much? Because they need to subversively remind Canadians that guns are bad. This is why. This is why this thing has been promoted throughout media for the last how many years? Is it 40 years? Is it 40 years?
I think it's 20, maybe. I don't even know. Here's the thing. It's funny you bring up the timeline because, okay, so we knew that the Carney government would continue on with Trudeau's gun grab because they elicited the candidacy of Natalie Provost.
Yes.
Who is the head of Police de Surveillance, which is, she was at École Polytechnique.
Right.
And this has become her reason for being. I'm sorry that she experienced that, but it has nothing to do with me.
Right.
That was a mass honor killing, if you want to get right down to it.
You guys, the story of the École Polytechnique shooting is so fascinating and so much different than the mainstream media would have you believe. There is layers on layers on layers.
It was a mass honor killing, and it's also what the feminists wanted in that the men left those women. It was the end of chivalry. You know, women and children first. The guy barged in with the gun and kicked all the men out, and they went.
The men left.
But I'm very sorry that happened to her. But what does that have to do with me? Why are you punishing firearms owners who weren't even born when that happened?
This is the entire point. And the reason they do that is to
30 years later, thank you.
Subversively compel Canadians to believe that they are less safe wherever there is a gun involved, when the truth of the matter is, if one of those men had a gun, the men that were ordered out of the room, if one of them was carrying a gun, that guy wouldn't have got through 13 women. He wouldn't have, that wouldn't have happened. Another man would have stopped him. And so in any case, this is just, I can't even watch it. I get, like, that man's face puts me in a state.
I think it was Mark Stein who
1989.
Yeah, who wrote the article about the men that left. And people forget that. Maybe she can bring it up. I forget. Mark Stein, Steyn, École Polytechnique.
We're just looking it up.
We're just looking it up
guys.
right
Yeah,
away.
just give us 15 seconds.
I forget. The men who walked away.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, incredible. This is an actual incredible story for Canadians to learn about, because there is an entire, there is an entire story that nobody knows about. And so if you are one of those people that just follows along, just follows along,
okay, hang on.
It's terrible, it's happened, it's terrible, nobody should have any guns. Read this piece, especially this piece.
Can we just go up, Olivia? Yeah, this is a really interesting breakdown of how progressive politics and feminism contributed to the fact that it was only women in that room. And it was in 1989, 14 female students at École Polytechnique were murdered by a man known to posterity as Marc Lépine. But that wasn't his birth name, by the way.
That was not his birth name. He was let's just tell the people.
Much followed that terrible slaughter, including various useless gun control measures. The original gun registry was born of this. And the formal annual commemorations that a third of a century on are attended by as many eminences as Remembrance Day or Dominion Day. The men present in that classroom are now pushing 60. The women are not. I was far from home that December and was not back in Quebec until Christmas. And so I accepted the official narrative of events until that is a few years later when I looked into it for myself. At which point I marveled at how the Canadian state had succeeded in so thoroughly imposing a meaning on the slaughter that is more or less the precise opposite of what actually happened. I've written about it over the years, although my comrades in the Canadian media complain every time I do so, as if any questioning of the official fairy tale cannot be permitted. Here's what I said on the 13th anniversary in the National Post of Canada on December 12, 2002, 22 years ago. He said, I loathe the annual commemorations of the Montreal Massacre. I especially dislike the way it's become a state occasion with lowered flags like Remembrance Day, but in this case, whatever honor we do the dead, we spend as much time dishonoring the living, or at least the roughly 50% of Canadians who happen to be male. For women's groups, the Montreal Massacre is an atrocity that taints all men, and for which all men must acknowledge their guilt. Marc Lépine symbolizes the murderous misogyny that lurks within us all. This is something I bet some of you don't know. Marc Lépine was born Gamil Garbi, the son of an Algerian Muslim wife beater, whose brutalized spouse told the court after their divorce hearing that her husband had a total disdain for women and believed they were intended only to serve men.
Did you know this, Canada? Did you know that this is where he came from?
That's where he came from.
Yep.
At 18, young Gamil took on his mother's maiden name. The Gazette in Montreal mentioned this in its immediate reports of the massacre. The name Gamil Garbi has not sullied its pages in the 13 years since. They don't want you to know who he really was.
What they did was they took a tragedy, rebranded it, and packaged it as something else. So you guys will notice that the anniversary of this event, December 6th, coincides with the International Day to Combat Gender-Based Violence.
Yeah.
So they will take a tragedy like this. They will bastardize it. They will hijack it. They will destroy what actually, like any semblance of the truth of what actually happened. Then they will repackage it to serve their purpose. Don't fall for it, Canada. You're smarter.
Olivia, let's keep going through this because I don't think a lot of people know really what happened here. So,
I love this for us. Let's keep
I know that this wasn't at all on the list of things to talk about. Mark Stein goes on to write, I'm not saying that Marc Lépine is representative of Algerian manhood or Muslim manhood. I'm saying he shouldn't be representative of anything. Least of all, the best efforts of women's groups and the convenient gloss that Pure Lane name notwithstanding, Canadian manhood. This spring, he goes on to talk about, another, just go up.
Another tragedy.
Another tragedy.
That targeted women.
Yeah. Extreme cases make bad law, and just because it's a cliche doesn't mean the Liberal Party of Canada can't take it hitherto undreamt of heights. Our disarmed Dominion will be the first jurisdiction on the planet with a $1 billion gun registry. It was supposed to cost $2 million, but as Dr. Evil learned in Austin Powers these days, that's just chump change. No self-respecting government plan could cost less than $1 billion. So that grew out of this, but I think that we keep going. If we keep going, we sort of get to, here it is. Every December 6th, our own unmanned Dominion lowers its flags to half-mast and tries to saddle Canadian manhood in general with the blame for the Montreal Massacre, the 14 women murdered by Marc Lépine, born Gamil Garbi, the son of an Algerian Muslim wife beater, though you wouldn't know it from the press coverage. Yet the defining image of contemporary Canadian maleness is not Marc Lépine, but the professors and the men in that classroom who, ordered to leave by the lone gunman, obediently did so and abandoned their female classmates to their fate as an abdication that would have been unthinkable in almost any other culture throughout human history. The men stood outside in the corridor, and even as they heard the first shots, they did nothing. And when it was over and Garbi walked out of the room and passed them, they still did nothing. Whatever its other defects, Canadian manhood does not suffer from an excess of testosterone. Your average Western feminist lobby group doesn't see it that way naturally. The feminism I think of is the one that embodies inclusivity, multiculturalism, and the ability to change the world through the humanity that women do bring, said Stephanie Davis, executive director of Atlanta's Women's Foundation. If there were women in power in representative numbers, 52%, I think that the World Trade Center would still be standing. That's a crazy lady. But anyways, it goes on to say that that was the real problem there. It's not Canadian firearms owners. It was the men in the room that forgot women and children first.
That's right.
and the man with the gun who was raised in a soup that grew him to hate women. It was an honor killing.
It truly was.
Anyway,
it was, and the way that it's bastardized and hijacked every single year to support, combat gender-based violence. When what they're talking about, when they say gender, they mean, the special ladies too. You know, that's who they're actually talking about. We're not talking about violence against women. They don't care. They actually don't care about us. But all it would have taken is one high testosterone man to put that guy down in that moment, and that person did not exist. So men, this is just your reminder of how you are an integral part of our society, what you do and your actions and the things that you can do to protect women and children are absolutely necessary, and we appreciate you for it.
Yeah. Let's go to, this is interesting. Extortion suspects have all claimed refugee status, the Canadian Border Agency says. This is fascinating. This is, I guess it's from Global News. Let me bring it up, So.
No, you're kidding.
Can we scroll down just so we can read a little bit of it together? Canada's plan to expel those behind BC's extortion epidemic has hit a roadblock after every single suspect sent for a deportation hearing claimed refugee status. The foreign nationals were identified by BC's extortion task force. But once the Canada Border Services Agency began investigating them, wouldn't you know it? Oops, accidentally refugee. How did they get into the country?
Oh my word.
That's what I want to know is how did they get here? Yeah. So the deportations of the 14 suspects have been put on hold now until they find out if they're actually legitimate refugees, which is crazy. If you are a legit, here's the thing. Even if you were a legitimate refugee, you're part of an extortion ring. You don't get to stay.
Right. Like that you were named as somebody who was committing crimes during your asylum claim while you were already here.
Right.
Should exclude you from going further down the process to stay in the country. This is crazy. But like the crazy thing is like these systems are so overloaded with newcomers that even if they are flagged for investigation, that could be a 2, 3, 4, 5 year process. Nobody in the government anyway is keeping an eye on these guys where they go. So they just got named in an extortion ring, claimed asylum. Well, they could just disappear to another part of the country and the government won't pay attention. Like this is insane. This is insane. Restore sanity to our immigration program or bust.
Yeah. This boggles my mind. Like the Surrey, BC mayor is like, these extortion rings are so crazy that they're turning my city into a nightmare, terrorizing entire neighborhoods.
Yeah, and businesses are just so unstabilized by this entire thing, because you'll have a group of thugs walk into your business and say, "Give us this amount of dollars in a bag, or else." Yeah. And then you're suffering the or else if you can't do it. This is craziness.
And so here they don't exactly say where these people are from, but it is Surrey, so I think you could figure that out. And
I think we all know. Oh no.
You're ringing. It'll stop. Anyways, it's Surrey, BC. Surrey, BC, I think has been hit with, what does it say here? 106 extortion cases alone. Oh, there we see. This year, 3 Sikh Canadian organizations will hold a town hall in Surrey, BC to discuss Indian transnational repression and extortion, which they say has reached crisis levels. It's funny, the Canadian Press article just says South Asian. So I was drawing my own conclusions, but at least the Global article has been pretty clear.
Actually said, yes, Indian transnational.
I would like to inform you that India is the world's largest democracy. You're not a refugee from India. Like, I get why you like it here.
Right.
We like it here too, but you're not a refugee.
Right.
So the Sikh Federation, BC's Gurdwara Council, and the World Sikh Organization are involved in this upcoming event. The RCMP warned in October 24 that Indian government agents were involved in, I'm not sure, serious criminal activity. I wouldn't say Indian government agents, but whatever, including extortion. Indian diplomatic and consular officials were allegedly involved. I think that heavy on the allegedly. India has not acknowledged its alleged role in violent crimes in Canada, nor has it publicly vowed to stop it. Maybe they're not involved. These could be just repressive gangs in Surrey, thanks to out of control immigration. But my curiosity is, so these are foreign nationals.
Yeah.
How did they get in the country? Like, were they here on student visas? Were they temporary foreign workers? Like what?
Well,
because
one of those
now
two,
they
like
are
one
saying
of
they're
those two, yeah.
refugees from India.
Right.
It's not a thing.
Right.
So I don't know. But it points to the abuse of other systems to get here.
Of course, Sheila, you think that all of the students who claimed that they were coming in under student visas and then never showed up for a day of study at any place ever are going to think twice about taking advantage of a new loophole or a new system or a new organization that they can exploit? Of course not. Listen. Every day that they stay in Canada where they should not is another day where they root themselves more deeply in our societies, in our cultures, in our cities, in our in our institutions. We just need to return to normal on immigration. Yep. It's so imperative to really repair the country. If we want to repair this country, this has got to be one of the first things that we look at.
Let's move ahead. I was going to talk about the CRA spending $18 million on Charlie, a new information chatbot that's wrong most of the time. But, I mean, the CRA just being generally wrong is, I don't know, I'm not sure if that's news. I find the dollar amount kind of interesting because they're very unclear about how much they spend on certain things in the CRA. And I think that the invasiveness about each other's finances should be mutual and reciprocal.
Right.
And it never is.
It should be like, listen, if you were making me making me provide you with receipts down to the last cent that I spent on...
You want to know my kilometers? Okay.
Then it should be the exact same for you. It should just be readily accessible on the website. But like so many public institutions in Canada, they do not want us to know how much of our tax dollars they're squandering. And they're gonna split hairs, they're gonna obfuscate, they're gonna clarify this is what the government likes to do. It's like, I was just curious.
This is kind of funny.
By Charlie. Like if you want to know how much, what did you mean by there's lots of different Charlies at the CR? They'll make all of the excuses not to give us the information.
It gave the wrong answer 66% of the time. 2/3 of the time, dead wrong. Can we go back up? Because I found it, because what they described the conversations as, even, they were just... So in 2024, Charlie received nearly 180,000 interactions. And what's an interaction? They don't really explain that. It could be like it pops up and you close it. Well, now you've interacted with it, right?
I was just going to say that. Yeah, you tell the chatbot to please stop popping up.
It's like when they say we're getting impressions instead of views, because impressions can mean anything. Views is something very different.
Okay.
But Charlie received 180,000 interactions that were categorized as chit-chat. So when people did interact with it, it's probably that they were on hold with the CRA and were just like screwing around with this thing to kill time.
Oh, chit chat, right. See if I can get my question answered. And you know what?
I bet it was people just dragging the CRA.
Just think of the complication that this actually would have caused people that were looking for answers from the CRA. So 66% of the information that their chatbot gave was incorrect or somehow misinformation to people that were seeking valid information from the CRA. So then you get the guy from the CRA on the phone and you say, well, your chatbot just told me this thing. And the guy from the CRA goes, no, actually, that's incorrect. But your chatbot just, like, the way that this would have wasted time and energy, because a human has to correct what that chatbot just lied about. You know what I mean? And we've all seen AI do weird crazy
there's
things.
a whole, they call it AI hallucinations. And I've seen it do it all the time.
What do you mean?
Like when AI just makes up things. Oh, it scares me.
You ask it for A, B, and C, and then it's like, perfect. Here's F, T, Q, R, Z, P, W, %, and it gives it. Yeah.
I'm frightened of AI. Very frightened. I don't want to participate in building the thing that will make me obsolete.
AI cannot replace us, Sheila.
That's the good thing is we are opinion journalists, and so while our work is always based in fact, my interpretation of those facts leads me to my opinions, and I believe the arc of reality bends towards conservatism.
100%.
But I will, maybe you're here for my opinion, my hot takes, with my very, very dull brain today. There have been points at which where I was like, Sheila, just stop wanting to stare off into the darkness.
Oh, I've done that a couple times too, Canada. If you're watching this back and you just see us sort of zone off for a second, it's okay. It's because we had such intensive meetings yesterday.
We had fun meetings. Okay, well, let's go into the New Brunswick Court of Appeal doing the right thing.
Oh.
Court of Appeal rules Indigenous group can't seek Aboriginal title over private land. This epidemic, and we'll call it an epidemic of land claims, all of a sudden, the New Brunswick Court of Appeal has ruled the opposite of what has happened in the Cowichan case.
Interesting.
So, New Brunswick's Court of Appeal ruled an Indigenous group cannot seek a declaration of Aboriginal title over private property, saying the harm to private property rights would undermine Canada's efforts at reconciliation with First Nations. Yeah, all of this is driving a divide.
1 billion %.
An unnecessary divide. The decision Thursday overturns, thank goodness, a lower court ruling that would have allowed the, Wolastoqey? I think it's a K because there's no Q there. Or no U there.
Okay. So that's...
I know. Again, give me an Aboriginal name on a day where I'm not feeling the best.
Wolastoqey. K.
To claim... To lay claim to privately owned industrial lands, as part of their broader Aboriginal title case, it is in strong contrast with BC Supreme Court ruling that has cast private property rights into question. This is sensical for once.
Interesting.
Yeah, they said, this judge is actually sort of nails it in a way that I hadn't thought of. Hang on, Olivia, don't scroll. In my view, a declaration of Aboriginal title over privately owned lands, which by its very nature gives the Aboriginal beneficiary exclusive possession, occupation, and use, would sound the death knell of reconciliation with the interests of non-Aboriginal Canadians. It would make us enemies.
Bro.
Exactly.
So profound. Actually, you know what? It's so rare in this world to get a judge actually saying something that makes sense.
The societal harm.
Wow.
It's not just about who owns that. It's about the broader societal harm.
It's about the effect that this is going to have on the relationships between two groups of people. That's exactly right. And people that are waving the reconciliation flag have absolutely no idea the harms that they're doing with the promotion of their crazy DEI initiatives. DEI always seeks to destroy and eviscerate and encumber good working relationships where merit is earned. When you chase these things, when you chase reconciliation in this way, it does nothing but cause divides. It's awesome for New Brunswick. Well done, guys.
Now, Nova Scotia, though. Nova Scotia's having a problem because a Nova Scotia First Nation, we've got a clip of this, bans the Premier and the Justice Minister from their lands. And I want to properly explain what's happening here, but we'll watch the news clip.
Okay.
Because it is one of those names that I struggle with. The Sipeknekatik First Nation, I feel like I'm having a stroke today. Just a slow one instead of like a big catastrophic one. It feels like it's
just a trickle-down stroke.
It feels like the blood is just slowly congealing inside my brain instead of having just a clot hammer one part of it and that's it. It feels like a slow-moving stroke. Anyways, they've banned the Nova Scotia Premier, the Justice Minister, and the Minister of Lineau Affairs from all banned lands.
Okay.
Let's watch.
Baganagity First Nations as Premier Tim Houston, Attorney General Scott Armstrong, and Liam Martin, the minister responsible for leading negotiations on Aboriginal and treaty rights, aren't welcome, branding them as undesirables in a statement yesterday. The ban comes 1 week after the province announced a crackdown on illegal cannabis sales. First Nation groups immediately responded, arguing the province has no jurisdiction on their lands.
Undesirable.
Undesirables. All over illegal darts and weed.
Yeah. Listen, this is what we get. This is absolutely what we get when we allow tiny minorities to make the rules for everybody.
Do we have laws or do we not have laws?
This is exactly
Do we have
it.
laws for everybody or do we not have laws for everybody? Really, that's what it comes down to. There shouldn't be these very, race-based carve-outs in criminal law.
Sure.
That seems problematic to
and
me.
minority-based carve-outs.
Right.
We see this all the time with gender. Just for instance, the major pride parades that happen in Saskatchewan after the government of Saskatchewan wielded the notwithstanding clause appropriately, I might say, barring teachers from changing the names and pronouns of children in their schools without the parents' knowledge. The Pride Parade people were like, we do not want you Sask Party people at our Pride Parades.
Great.
And so don't you dare come. Well, if you listen, not to say that the Sask Party, that was a actually
thanks for the
big
gift.
sigh of relief from the Sask Party. But this is how it can get carried away. So now we have First Nations that are calling the premier of the province undesirable. You're calling the justice minister undesirable.
And the chief negotiator on your land claims and nonsense.
You want to know how fast I would drop a hammer on that behavior?
Yeah, I guess that's what we have to wait to see who comes next. Who runs the show over there? Well, because if you ban me from somewhere and call me undesirable, I guess our negotiations are done.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that.
And I guess the police are coming to take away all your illegal weed.
That's when I get petty. That's when I would get petty.
You have to. Do we show them who is in charge or not?
That's who.
Like, look, private lands. They're your lands. Of course, you can ban people from your lands.
But
if you're breaking the law there. Like, if I had a bunch of illegal weed at my house, which I don't, I've never even smoked a joint. Right. But if I did, and the police came in,
you couldn't just say, "Excuse me, you are undesirable.
You're trespassing.
Get now,
get
you
out.
Undesirables." Yeah, we might have millions of dollars in stolen contraband, weird cigarettes, but you're undesirable. Look away, you undesirable.
I ban you from here.
You undesirable. I banish you.
Excuse you, but you're banned. Like, I just wouldn't happen.
It shouldn't be happening.
Right.
And yet it is, because this is Canada and clown world and everything is upside down broken. So I'm going to try that next time I get pulled over, like, for a speeding ticket.
Excuse me, you're banned from my window.
Stop being undesirable near my van.
Excuse me, officer.
Yeah.
You're undesired in my window, so no.
I'll let you know how that goes, guys.
Yeah. Tell it to the CRA chatbot, okay? Should we do some chats? Yes. And then we have 2 daily cringes. One is from separatist icon, Thomas Lukaszek.
Amazing. I
and
can't
then,
wait to see.
Stu Benson, the hysterical
low testosterone
little fella from inside the media room at the Debates Commission. He's apparently, I don't know, he's up to something anyway. We'll watch it. I haven't seen it yet, so... All right, so we did Aaron Burton's chat. Let's go to Aaron Sicily. Bless you. 8001 gives us 699. Thank you. JP Alberta first, $20. So either Michael Ma and the Libs being greasy, or more likely this is Chinese interference with Carney's hands in it.
Yes.
I don't want to go like fully down where my brain thinks this went, but
mine went pretty fast in that direction.
I was like, that's how that happened.
Follow the bouncing ball.
Yeah,
it's not hard. It's a huge, glaring.
And I'm not.
red
I don't
ball.
have any more information than anybody else, But I know that riding is a hotbed. I know the Liberal Party is perfectly happy to be benefiting from it.
And the relationships that Andy Lee
pointed
showed
out.
Yeah. It just makes it all very
And
suspicious.
I'm actually willing to even be open and say, since he is from Hong Kong, we know that the CCP has a history of targeting conservative politicians from Hong Kong.
Right.
So, and
Right.
Kenny Chu testified at the Foreign Interference Commission that when he decided to enter politics in Canada, I'm not even talking at the federal level, at the school board level, he was like, I knew I would not be able to have real contact with my family in Hong Kong anymore.
Interesting.
Because they would become then targets of the CCP. And it was the same thing with Michael Chong. His family, he's half Chinese from Hong Kong, and his family was targeted, and he was being followed out of the consulate in Toronto.
How is this being allowed?
So those two guys didn't buckle. Maybe Michael Ma buckled.
Michael Ma, put your elbows up if you need help.
Right.
Okay. If you've been threatened, just start with your elbows. That'll be our code word.
We'll know. We'll send help.
But if that's the way they operate, and if they're threatening families, especially families that are
Far away.
very far away, that you have no opportunity to protect or to warn, even that would be a really fast way to make somebody move.
Right.
It just really would. And these guys are not. I don't believe that they're beyond that at this point.
Oh.
They will literally do anything to consolidate power.
Right. And I think the Liberals are happy to have the help.
Agreed.
In whatever way
Agreed.
possible.
They're not
And
gonna stop it.
so that's the thing. Either he's a liar, and we all know somebody in our lives who's just told you one thing and then absolutely did another. Shallow. But or something far worse. Oops, I dropped my earbud, which will become relevant in a minute or two. Then we've got Alba Twitch Wiggler 6905 says, haha, Lise. 100 years from now gives us $1.49 and a unicorn emoji. And chicletization. Oh my God, my brain is just a pile of garbage today. Chicletization gives us $13.99. Oh, it's Annalisa. Hi, Annalisa. Annalisa is David Menzies' #1 fan. And
not to brag, Annalisa, but he's been our chauffeur around for the past couple days in Toronto, and we are taking him out on the town.
he's taking us to a castle. I hope you're jealous, Annalisa, because we're going to a castle today.
We're going to play princess with David Menzies.
Yeah,
after
he's going
the
to be
show.
the frog that turns into a prince by the end of the day.
I'm going to go away from me while I help Sheila get
Thank
her.
you. My earpiece fell down. So anyways, Annalisa says, ordered your new book. It's being delivered today. Keep up the amazing work. Sending all the rebels so much love. Wow, thank you.
Thanks, honey.
Thank you. Alex Greer, 7700-279. Great work, gals. Buffalo gals rule. That's us.
Buddy. Let's go, buddy.
And then Silver Feet 1280 ordered my copy of Buck the Rainbow Unicorn. Remember, everyone, always buck the rainbow unicorn. Be true. It stands for be true. Be true to whoever you are.
I actually didn't put that together till right now.
That's cute as all get out.
Buck the rainbow unicorn. Be true. Oh,
that's good.
Thanks, Silver Feet. Thank you.
PJ Menezes, $10. It's like the words in my brain are on a different shelf, and I can't reach them. It's just up there, and your step stool isn't tall enough to get the things down. That's what the inside of my head feels like.
Yeah.
One of the reasons I detest the Westminster parliamentary system is people can do as they please by changing jerseys and floor crossing.
Not in the new country.
No.
Okay,
You'd have to
there's
sit
going
as
to be
an independent.
consequences for this in the new country. That's right.
You have to sit as an independent?
And the by-election.
And then a by-election.
Within 30 days.
Yep.
Nope. This is craziness.
Okay. And JP Alberta First gives us $5 and says, post the link to the article in the description, please. Are you talking about the Mark Stein article?
like on Ecole Polytechnique. Can we do that in the background, guys?
Thank you. Olivia's put it there, so that's good. All right, that's wonderful. Okay, I think those are all the chats. We got to them. You guys are generous today. Let's do the Daily Cringe. There are 2, which is good because I need a pick-me-up for 100 different reasons today. Stu Benson. I forget who he works for. Hill Times? Something you never read anyway.
No.
Just quick refresher on who Stu Benson is. You might want to turn the volume down because it's a little high-pitched. Let's hear.
More questions. Yes, after they had already folded to you because you threatened to sue. You're lying again. I'm not. Because you're don't you have a third-party advertising truck to go take care of? How much have you spent on third-party advertising this election? Between Rebel News and For Canada, companies you own both of, how much money have you spent to influence this election? I'm assuming in favor of conservatives. How much have you spent? Like, you're a journalist, you must be honest. Zero. So, Rebel News Limited, you've set up and registered under Elections Canada. Everyone else, you can go to Elections Canada right now. Every third party is registered. Search Rebel News For Canada, and you will see clear as day, as will Avant, as the owner of both of those companies.
You'll see us following the rules.
This is so embarrassing.
Driving around this venue right now.
Secondhand cringe for him.
It's owned by Rebel. It's owned by you. Sorry.
His voice cracks.
It's For Canada.
Okay, so that's Stu Benson, you guys. He is, he works for the Hill Times. He is an hysteric.
A male hysteric.
He is a male hysteric. In the olden days, they would say that there was something wrong with his uterus. He had uterine fever of some kind.
Is it hysterical uterus?
He does. He has a hysterical uterus, and his voice. It's very rare that you would describe a man as shrill, but it is
screechy, even.
Yeah, like sharp, piercing little voice. He is at Rogers Center. Suffice it to say, the spirits are high at Rogers Center. There's about 2,500 Liberals in the room, and the energy is the mirror opposite of last year's. Is it their AGM this week, or what is it? Let's listen. Look, let's feel the electricity together, guys.
Get ready.
I could use a pick-me-up. I'm ready. Electrify me.
Here, keep it down, we're gonna get things going. We only need your attention for about an hour and a half, it's not a big deal. Speeches are really gonna be short. Okay, here we go, listen, here, keep it down.
What is it? Oh, is it? Is it their AGM?
Or is it
their
their Christmas
convention?
party? Everybody looks like they're in Christmas colors. This is why I'm guessing. We don't actually know what event this is for.
The great honor of being the
because Stu Benson, the journalist, didn't tell us. So anyway, I think it is the Liberal Christmas gathering.
Yeah,
it's the Christmas gathering. 2,500 people in the room at Rogers Center. That seems like not a lot, actually.
2,500 Liberals existing in the world is 2,500 too many.
Sure, but this is Rogers Center in a Liberal stronghold. It's their Christmas reception, just in time to catch the Liberal Christmas party.
Gross.
Do you feel how the electricity is? I was looking for like a, like one of those like, but like for my brain, and I didn't get it. I was disappointed. But why is a journalist giving us like minute by minute of the Liberal Christmas party?
You know what? This is gross. I'm just seeing it right here. That this is like a PR move to help the Liberals look better ahead of Christmas. Like Thomas Lukaszuk was there.
Yeah, let's show this.
Stuart Benson was there.
This is the second part of the cringe. In case you're wondering who Thomas Lukaszuk is, basically campaigned for the NDP, not as a candidate, but just to help her out in the last 2 election cycles in Alberta. He's the leader of the separatist movement of Forever Canada because he accidentally triggered a referendum on separation. So anyways, he's going to be a hero. There will be a bronze statue of him outside of the new capital of Lloydminster, and people will touch it for good luck. Yeah, or when they need help. When you do something stupid and fail upwards, but for everybody else, but not for you.
Right.
You know, when your stupidity helps everybody else, you can just, Thomas Lukazik, the angel of Thomas Lukazik will get his wings, okay? When an idiot does something that inadvertently helps the people he doesn't like. So he was at the Liberal Christmas party. In case you're wondering who's behind
if there's an
the push
there,
to stay in Canada.
Gee, I wonder who's helping Thomas with his
organization.
petition.
Yeah,
I think we have the answer, Canada.
You never know where the nightlife takes you. Oh, you didn't know? You didn't know when you bought the ticket to the very expensive Christmas party that you would just accidentally end up at it? Okay, Thomas.
Okay, Thomas. Okay. After a long day of meetings, you just never know. Oh, you're just going to stumble in. Okay.
Just staggering in off the street.
Oh, look, yeah, here we... oh,
okay, we've got 2 more chats.
Okay.
We've got 2 more chats and we'll wrap it up. Because David Menzies is going to take us to a castle, you guys. And we have to stop at the drugstore. I need some Tums.
We need to stop at the gas station.
Anyways, we've got, and I'm very sorry that the world has seen me in this terrible condition. Usually I'm not like this, but I thought I should be honest with everybody. JP Alberta First gives us $10 and says, yes, the Polytechnique article, please. Well, it's already there.
In the chat?
Yeah. And JP Alberta First also gives us $10 to make fun of Stu Benson a little bit more. Every opportunity to use that clip. And you could see, like, the guys from True North, they're like, what the heck is going on here?
Just everybody else leaning back in their chairs going, what is happening?
And, like, look, I'm someone who talks with my hands, too. But a man that gesticulates wildly when he's like a ropey 110 pounds with a Mickey Mouse voice... It ain't doing it for me or anybody, I don't think. He's swinging his arms around like those inflatable men. He's doing one of these and shrieking at the top of his lungs. I'm nauseous now from doing that. All right, I think we should wrap up the show. Olivia, we're done? Got all the chats? We did an hour and a half? Okay, great. Let's wrap up the show. Lise, thanks. 3 times with me this week.
I love this for us.
Best-selling LGBTQ plus children's author, Lise Merle.
And
horse author.
Horse book. I've written a very popular horse book,
right,
you guys. No, but thanks so much for supporting Buck the Rainbow Unicorn. You can see it right over Sheila's shoulder. I can't get over that this is happening. You guys, honestly, let me just tell you something real quick. Tomorrow is my 48th birthday, and you made my life dream come true.
She's crying again.
I'm sorry. I'm so happy.
Crying.
I'm so happy about what's happened, and I'm so happy that I'm on this ride with Rebel News. And thanks so much for watching us, and we love you all. Merry Christmas. Bye.
She's very thrilled. She's very thrilled. A lot of things are happening good in her life right now, and if you feel so inclined to buy a useful little book that you can use as a notebook, it's priced as a notebook. With a cool cover, and I like the Saskatchewan cover. I wanted to make it look like a 1930s poster.
That is going to be huge in Saskatchewan. I'm telling you right now, we're going to love it.
I love the nostalgia of that. But if you want to help me out and get a book about nothing, because there is no case for Confederation, well, it doubles as a fun little notebook and a gag gift, $10 stocking stuffer. Order it now, one for Saskatchewan, one for Alberta. The case for Confederation.com. Tears just pouring out of her eyeballs. It's okay. Oh, no. All right. Olivia.
It's fine. It happens on occasion. These are happy.
It's happy tears.
You can cry happy tears without having to explain yourself.
Okay, let's wrap up the show. She needs Kleenex. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you on Monday. I think I'm hosting with David Menzies on Monday. And as we say always on the show, you might find us offensive, so maybe don't find us at all.
Oh, hi, everybody. Ezra Levant here from Rebel News. You know, it's a Christmas tradition here for me to take an entire show to answer your questions to me. Questions about literally anything. Sure, it could be about the news of the day, but you can ask me really anything about Rebel News itself, about our team, about our business, about our plans, even personal questions if you care. I mean, I'm sure there's some things I would decline to answer for privacy reasons, but I'll be as candid as I can be. Just go on over to letterstoezra.ca and send in your questions, and I'll read them while wearing a Santa hat. My friend Sheila Gunn Reid is doing the same thing too. And at that same website, you can direct your letters to her also. So send me your friendliest or toughest questions, and I'll answer as many as I can fit into the show. Cheers. That's Letters to Ezra.